Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are unpacking something absolutely fascinating and completely hidden that's happening right above our heads and straight inside our solar panels. You know, when sunlight peeks out from behind moving clouds, most of us just expect this smooth, gentle increase in solar output. Makes sense, right? Well, today, we're going to reveal the highly dynamic, often invisible electrical stresses in solar systems that are actually caused by those passing clouds.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Like I said, commonly, our expectation is this nice, slow, smooth power increase as the sun emerges. But the reality, the harsh reality, is quite different. What's actually hitting your solar hardware are dynamic, aggressive electrical spikes and transients. This isn't just some simple, harmless shading event, it's a sudden, aggressive shift that literally physically shocks the system.
So what exactly is happening under the hood here? Well, it's called the cloud edge effect. It's a transient condition where rapid changes in irradiance cause your electrical outputs to change way faster than the controller can adjust. And I really want to emphasize that word, transient. It's an active, fast-moving wave of electrical energy sweeping across your entire system. It is absolutely not just a shadow passing by.
So here's our agenda for today. First, we'll cover the cloud edge myth. 2, key electrical relationships. 3, MPPT dynamic response lag. 4, invisible system stress points. And finally 5, safe system design.
All right, part 1, the cloud edge myth. Let's look at expectation versus reality.
You know, it's kind of crazy, but it's time we acknowledge what most surface-level explanations, and honestly, even some top educational channels, get fundamentally wrong about passing clouds. While others might just show you these nice, smooth, average power graphs going up and down, they are completely missing highly dynamic safety gaps that happen in just a fraction of a second. Just look at these blind spots. They ignore MPPT sampling delays. They completely fail to mention string voltage behavior under a cold sun, transient current overshoots, the hidden stress on breakers and connectors, and the reality that controller limits are approached dynamically, not statically. These aren't just, minor technical details. They're absolutely critical gaps in understanding real-world solar behavior.
Let's move to Section 2, Key Electrical Relationships, and see how this foundational physics builds.
And this brilliantly illustrates what's going on. To truly grasp the invisible stress occurring, we have to look at the foundational physics governing the panels. It's like a giant puzzle, so let's calmly break down the math. First, we have the basic power equation. Power equals voltage multiplied by current. Simple enough, right? Then, series string voltage. Your total voltage is the number of modules multiplied by the module voltage. Next, look at the temperature effect. Open circuit voltage, or VOC, drifts dynamically. As the temperature drops, the voltage actually increases. Finally, the irradiance effect. Current is directly proportional to the irradiance level. When you see how power, voltage, temperature, and current are physically and mathematically linked together, you really start to see where the danger lies. But here's the catch. There is a crucial disconnect in how these factors actually behave in the real world. Current rises almost instantly with sharp changes in light irradiance. Literally the second the sun hits, the current spikes. But voltage drifts dynamically based on the panel temperature and the series string configuration. Imagine a really cold day. A cloud passes over, dropping the panel temperature, which naturally pushes that baseline voltage up. Then boom, the cloud vanishes, the sun blasts the panel, and the current spikes instantly while the voltage is still sitting up high. It's an incredibly aggressive combination.
Which brings us to Section 3, MPPT dynamic response lag, or what I like to call the mechanical conflict. Okay, so we're transitioning from the raw physics outside your panels to the mechanical conflict happening right inside your hardware. Maximum power point tracking, or MPPT controllers, they don't just adapt by magic. They operate using a mechanical measurement loop. Step 1, they measure the voltage and current. Step 2, they adjust the operating point. Step 3, they repeat this continuously. The absolutely key takeaway here is that these controllers do not adapt instantly. They work in rigid mechanical loops that take a finite amount of time to complete.
Let's walk through a timeline of a fast cloud movement to see exactly where the mechanical system falls behind the instantaneous environmental changes. At 1 second, the radiance rises sharply as the cloud moves away. At 2 seconds, the panel current rises instantly in response to that brilliant light. But look at 3 seconds. The MPPT controller takes a finite time to retrack. It's literally still calculating what happened a full second ago. The environment has completely outpaced the hardware.
So that begs a fascinating and frankly critical question. What happens when the environmental input changes faster than the controller's loop response time? What kind of dangerous temporary mismatch is occurring inside your own hardware during that fraction of a second?
Let's get into Section 4,
invisible system stress points, and the actual physical consequences.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how the physical consequences of that lag compound. This is the climax of what we're talking about today. Here are 5 physical risk points that occur when current spikes and voltage drifts simultaneously. First, the controller's max input voltage limit is pushed to the absolute brink, especially in those cold conditions with returning bright sun we talked about. Second, series string amplification. More panels in series means a much higher transient voltage risk. Third, the thermal inertia of wiring. Your copper cables actually heat up from repeated current spikes before the MPPT even corrects. Fourth, protection device delay. DC breakers just don't trip instantly on these micro fluctuations. And fifth, MC4 connector micro arcing risk. Rapid current swings under marginal contact pressure cause invisible long-term damage.
So the crucial point to take away here is this. The real system risk is not the average power output over time. Not at all. It's the instantaneous electrical spikes occurring during those transitions. Looking at static average power metrics on a daily chart completely hides these fast, aggressive spikes. But those unseen spikes, they are exactly what cause the thermal stress and the nuisance tripping that plagues so many real-world systems.
Finally, Section 5, Safe System Design. Let's open up the design playbook. Let's take all of this theory and focus on actionable resolutions. How do we actually build off-grid systems that can withstand these dynamic, aggressive fluctuations? Well, here is the playbook. First, ensure the maximum series voltage remains strictly within controller limits, specifically under cold conditions. Second, you absolutely must account for rapid irradiance transitions in your system sizing, not just steady, perfect sunlight. And third, rate all DC wiring, connectors, and breakers for dynamic, transient loads, not just static averages. Basically, build for the spike, not just the average.
Actually, scratch that. Let me pause for a quick but absolutely crucial safety warning. High-voltage DC systems can cause severe injury, fire, or even death. Always, always isolate power before servicing and use properly rated components. Electrical work is incredibly dangerous. Please remember that this explainer is strictly for educational purposes, and you should always consult a qualified professional before tackling this stuff.
To wrap this whole shebang up today, I want you to consider this major shift in perspective. Clouds are not just shading events. They are electrical transients moving across your system in real time. Once you understand that, I guarantee you will never look at a passing cloud the same way again. It's a real game changer.
So, this leaves us with a pretty exciting path forward. What real-world solar behavior should we measure next? Are we thinking MPPT clipping, inverter surge mismatch, or maybe battery charge acceptance during cloud spikes? These are all incredible topics, just waiting to be unpacked. Think about it, keep asking questions about the systems around you, and I will see you on the next explainer.